What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ for y'all. So I want to revisit a character that we always talk about in this game, but I feel like since season 1 he hasn't got a lot of time in the spotlight in the general scene. I want to talk about Cell today. If you got a quick second, consider liking this video or subscribing to the channel if you already have not. It does help the channel grow and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So Cell. So this character was really popular in season 1, a top tier character, but top tier in the way that he's a very easy to learn character with a lot of easy to apply tools. You also have to consider too that people didn't really know everything about the game or all the systems of the game. So characters like this, when games come out, are pretty common to be strong. So even though he super fell off after EVO Season 1 when they nerfed him, they've been gradually buffing him over time, and right now, not only do I think he's a really strong character, but a lot of other people do as well. So I kind of want to touch on all of these things. Now the thing is, when you pick up Cell, you will definitely feel strong. Now the first thing are his combos. So usually I don't specifically talk about combos for a character, but Cell specifically can carry to the corner quite easily, even with a really basic combo. Something like this, you're already in the corner. His tools to approach are pretty strong as well. So he has things like 2S, a very good angle on his air beam with jails into vanish. He can threaten with perfect attack. And he just has big buttons for getting in general. His pressure is also legendary strong in this game. So he has an amazing stagger game. So moves like his jab being -3, his LL here being -5, this is -3. This is -5, and this was one of the original normals that had a special property where you could do it again, which is also -5, and his 6 heavy, which is an extra normal, is also -5. So he has a lot of ways to threaten and a lot of points where he can reset his pressure, delay, etc. His tools in general have pretty straightforward applications. So when you look at a move like perfect attack, once you see that it beats jumps and you see how high that goes, you know that when your opponent is kind of floating around like this, and we can set the opponent to do it as well, there are spots where you can legitimately just watch them and do it. If you miss, you call your assist. All his moves have a very straightforward application. Because of the change to his EX rolling attack, it is much easier to mix people up in the corner. As mentioned before, having left-right options on your level 3 is extremely strong because instead of the mix-up being my high-low or their reflect or no reflect, they have to legitimately block my left-right, which makes my high-low even more enforced. It's also very easy for him to enforce mix-ups in his pressure because of how simple it is to apply his tools. So in the case of having a high block stun assist like Bardock B, we can simply call him and go high or low. But in the case of Ki Blast assist or maybe low blocks and assist, you can use them to condition your opponent different ways. So for instance, something like this, or the classic making them block on overhead and calling SSJ Vegeta, things like that. While they have made changes to his other assists, the main one we would be talking about is Kamehameha. This covers a really good angle and he jumps to a spot that's hard to hit. We've actually talked about this before with characters like SSJ Vegeta. So despite this character being so simple and effective, though people do kind of misunderstand him a little bit, the main thing that I think kind of keeps people from playing him is that he is pretty committal. He's really reliant on assists to play the game. So while his toolset is really good, moves like 2S or like Air Beam, he can't do these moves very easily alone. These moves alone, they have pretty major flaws that you can take advantage of. So for instance, 2S. So 2S is a Ki Blast, right? So you could super dash it, or even though it's plus unblock, right? It's +3, you can reflect it and make him minus instead. When you combine this with an assist, it's much harder to do these things like a super dash on reaction, your reflect doesn't do anything, and if you block, he gets to get in. So a lot of his main tools for neutral, perfect attack, 2S, and beams usually rely on support for making them real threats. It's why we've seen Cell played so commonly point and why we see him paired with the characters you see him paired with a lot. Why Cell SSJ Vegeta is such a GOAT combination, right? I did mention that Goku Black actually has this committal issue as well, and in the history of the game, people generally tend to play him last because he's a beam and you want him for his assist. Meanwhile, Cell is almost always played on point or in the mid position. All that being said though, I think in Season 3, Cell is a pretty strong and pretty fair character. He doesn't really beat you with like any BS or special properties really. He just kind of earns his way in with an assist. You might call it like skipping neutral if you want, but he has to use his assist well and combined with a special move to get in. He uses pressure. Depending on what assist he has, either he gets 50-50 straight up, or he has to use assist and system mechanics to try to kind of sneak in hits. But his return is high on everything, and he gets you in the corner a lot, which is really important in this game. Solo functionality and how much support a character needs are both important parts of picking your characters and playing your characters. Cell is definitely an example of needing support to be able to function to his best ability. Just because a character needs support doesn't mean they're necessarily weak. Remember, this is a 3 vs 3 game, right? So the solo functionality thing only comes up in 2 situations, basically. When you burn both your assists, or whatever assist you have available, or when you're on your last character. We usually talk about it on the last character. So our perspectives of characters can kind of change depending on who we're talking about. So a character like Goku Black, who I've talked about before, might be able to do a little bit more with support than if he's played alone like we tend to see him. And really the main reason we tend to see him alone is because of his most popular assist, the beam assists. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I've been playing Cell a little bit more recently for fun. I think he's a pretty fun character. He does get to do a lot of stuff with assists, and I like the type of conditioning game that he has. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.